Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Rule the Waves. We are playing as the US in 1908 in war against France for about half a year now, 5 months to be exact. There hasn't been a lot of active fighting on the seas, mainly because we've been in relatively separate areas. As you can see, there's not a lot of overlap, except maybe for Southeast Asia over here, where we have the Philippines and Guam, whereas France has Indochina, so basically Vietnam and South China over here. We've actually started to attack this base over here, Quang Chuan, and there is currently some fighting which is supported by our ships. That being said, the big development has been that we've been trying to block off, or we coincidentally actually at one point blocked off the French coast by some ships that were randomly there basically on their way somewhere else. So at some point we reinforced that by a small task force which is now our task. As you can see over here, we have just 2 battleships, a heavy cruiser, 3 light cruisers, whereas France basically has a lot of battleships and so on and so forth in this zone. So yeah, they're now outclassing us. We were nearly in a battle with them last turn, but we decided to withdraw, and I think that was prudent given the comparative strength. And at the end of the last episode, we thought about moving our ships back to the Caribbean, but thinking about this a bit more strongly, I think there is a case to be made to block off France entirely. We're pin in their navy. We maybe get it into a big engagement. We prevent them from reinforcing the curious position over here. We haven't actually started an attack on the Antilles, so our presence in the Caribbean hasn't been so useful to us, whereas the attack on France really has been, and we could really push for very harsh victory conditions if we manage to block them in. So I think what I'm going to do is tell these guys to move to not in the end move from the Caribbean towards to move from Northern Europe towards the Caribbean, but to cancel their orders and just stick in Northern Europe and in fact get over our Caribbean squadron. All except any raiders. We don't have any raiders. Okay, so that's fine. We will then send all of these guys, all of the light cruisers as well. How many light cruisers would that make? There are 2, there are 3. So all of them except, let's say, the Cincinnati, the Chattanooga, I guess. The Chattanooga over here, which is only good, is going to be a raider, so he's going to try to be a bit of pirate of the Caribbean and get some merchant ships. Whereas all of these ships are going to move and support Northern Europe. And that means that basically we should be able to box them in really hard. And we might get to a position where we do actually have a battleship engagement. And there are 2 reasons why I would consider that. One is it would be entertaining, but maybe more importantly, if we look at the overall position of things over here. Well, firstly, we do have more battleships. I know one of them is currently in Southeast Asia, which we should be able to see here. Let's sort this by strength and see, yeah, that the Montana over here, which is a single ship in its class, but one of the more expensive ones, is currently in Southeast Asia supporting things there. It's also a bit of the, yeah, it's a bit bigger than what we have in Europe. But yeah, so firstly, we are strong enough to take this fight. But maybe more importantly, we have come to the breaking point where actually we are now building, and will be having ready in about a year, the California class dreadnought, and that is an immense quantum leap in technology over here. You can see that this guy has 10 11-inch guns. Remember, 11-inch guns for us are pretty much as strong as 12-inch guns because of different quality, whereas this guy really has 4. So that's more than 2.5, or that's 2.5 times the firepower of the old ships, and it does have, I believe, better armor. So instead of 7.5, we do see that this guy has quite a bit more armor, especially on the turrets. So, and more secondary battery on top of that, and a better speed. So I do think, and long range actually, and so on and so forth. So I think that, generally one should be really, really worried about losing capital ships. And in fact, that's what happened during World War One, especially, right? For the most part, in World War One, the German high fleets was stuck in their port, whereas the British high fleet maintained a standoff one, and there wasn't really much enough of an engagement except for the one battle at Jutland. But and some other raids, but for the most part, even though on land there was an all-out war, on sea parties were content to watch each other because battleships had become too expensive to risk. And that is very much true here as well. If we were to lose a couple of battleships against France, that would put us in a much, much worse position after the war against any other party. And if we lose it in the war against France, we are finished off as well. So, for that reason, I do believe that we should not, in fact, risk battleships. Except now we can, because all of these guys are obsolete already. And what will count in the future is what we have in true battleships and maybe in battle cruisers. So I think this is one of the few times that I'm actually going to go and risk losing quite a bit of our fleet. So, enough being said, let's continue our turn over here. And very, very nicely, we have taken over a cruiser armor configuration. Okay, I'll have to see about that, what that means specifically. But we do have better 12-inch guns. Finally, that's a really important step for us. French Raider sinking some stuff, and here we have an enemy coastal raid. We do believe that they have Dreadnought, but I don't think so. They can't have anything finished, so they're probably stuck with a couple of heavy cruisers. It should be a quick battle, or not a battle at all, because they are in fact is that Grum? Okay. They are in fact declining us in the battle, and that gives us quite a lot of points here. So that's good to see. They are building up some armored cruisers though, so that's not exactly great, but heavy cruiser with 9 guns. Yeah, and we do get points for blocking off the enemy. So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, they got 5 points this turn. We got nearly 300. But we do have more ships in Northern Europe than our bases can support, and that does mean that some of these ships in Northern Europe, so all of these, are suffering from some sort of attrition. And especially the Pittsburgh over here does have an asterisk, so this guy is struggling with some maintenance problems. So he'll be moved home towards the North American East Coast, so he can rest and repair basically. Other than that, let's look at the naval situation over here. We have 86 power. France really has nothing, so they moved out all of their ships. Where did they go? Yeah, a lot of them went to the Mediterranean. Interesting to see. Interesting choice. I think they'll probably move back home because they probably... and the battleship in West Africa. Anything in the Caribbean? Yeah, they spread out their forces really. But I think they'll move back once they see that we have common force and are blocking off their land. In fact, their unrest level will increase, so I think we'll very soon see that there's some issue for them. Nice. We now own this city. I don't know. We could improve bases, so we don't really need that because we do have sufficient basing capacity here. We could build a fort. I don't think that's quite as necessary. There are still quite a couple of French possessions over here, so I think we would like to keep our presence over here and just try to catch what we can. Excellent, so things are going good. We are in the black by 500,000. That's really not enough to start building a new ship, so I don't think that is something that we should do. Although I would like to see what we really learned about our light cruisers. That is, if we open the Des Moines over here, what does it mean to have a light cruiser configuration? Does it mean slope deck? I think it does. Do we know about that? What about flat deck? Doesn't give us an error, man. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the light cruiser armor configuration was. The other thing is, of course, now that we do have better naval guns and 12-inch guns over here, we might want to think about designing a new ship on that, but again, with this level of funds, we are not building the Dreadnought very soon, so I think that's going to be fine. Let's take the turn. Torpedoes are nice, especially during wartime. French radar. French radar is thinking more stuff. And here we go, battleship engagement. 7.5 hours versus 7 of theirs. We're going to accept that, and they are 2. And we are immediately going to start off at contact, really. Let's take a look at the conditions first. So it's afternoon. Night is coming in probably a couple of hours. Local time is quarter to 4. And the really? Okay. And so we have 2 more hours of daylight, basically. And yeah. These unidentified ships over there look kind of small. I might be mistaken. It could be actually their battle line. But we don't know anything about it. So let's actually check what we know about the French ships and battleships. So these here are still building, and that's fine. All of these might be present. The Tridents are more modern versions. They're built later. All of these guys are in fact legacy battleships with 12-inch guns. Not sure how good they are. And 7.5 inch. Well, I think they're probably more or less like us. So yeah, we'll have to see. Right then. Let's get everyone sorted out. So the Ohio and they merged again to these ships. So what do we have here? The Battle Division number 4 and so Battleship Division number 1 with the Ohio and New York. That's a bit awkward because these are mismatched, as you can see. These guys do carry secondary batteries or secondary guns in a casemate configuration, so basically individual guns sticking out of the hull, whereas this guy is carrying secondary turrets. Then we have some light cruisers, but more importantly the Battle Division number 4. And because this is a fleet engagement, we are going to tell these guys to be a core part of the overall line and follow Battleship Division number 1. That's lovely, that's fine, that's good. Then we have a Heavy Cruiser Division, which is probably the one that is being merged there. Yes, it is. We are going to tell these guys for now to trail behind. So you are going to follow the Battleship Division number 4. The AI control then just be part of the core, so I think that's okay. You go to your max speed, so everyone will catch up as well. You guys are probably screening for Battle Division. Yeah, I think it's fine if you're AI controlled. You are supporting that guy. and you're scouting, aren't you? Yeah, fine. Okay, so we just control the main battle line, and all the light cruisers and all that will be AI controlled. So, oh, who are you? Oh, really? Then AI controlled battleship group over there, the Arizona and Michigan. It's not good. They're not properly supported. If this is the case, then I'm gonna take my cruiser. I have the cruisers here. You're not gonna be AI controlled. You are in fact gonna try to move to some of that direction. Wind is blowing from there. Shouldn't make much of a difference. Also, the sun will be setting, of course, in the west, so I think it might be good to just go ahead on this course. This will be our probable engagement range for our battleships. So yeah, let's see. Fuel, I don't particularly care about. What do we have here? 5 ships, all unidentified, and they're turning north in a battle line. Yes, they are. And what's going on there? Did I tell you? I'm an idiot. Okay, so sorry. The battleship line should of course be AI controlled and follow us. These guys should not. So that's a bit awkward, but I hope it should be fine. I'd not like to go immediately here because the wind, I mean it's calm, so the wind probably doesn't hurt that much. Okay, so let's turn in and follow them. Here you go, battleships are back on course and should be turning in. Yes, there they go. Should have watched what they're doing. Jesus. What a mess. Okay, so this is the main battle line, the Richelieu class. Properly identified. This battle cruiser is misidentification, I can tell that. It's a battleship, like a normal, easy battleship. And I'm going to go on cruise speed because I want these guys to catch up and align a bit more towards there, so that we do know that in fact there's a light cruiser, which is just being an idiot. Okay, a couple of destroyers in their front. These guys, they do look interesting, and they aren't nearly as big, aren't they? So if we were to turn north, we might catch these guys off guard. Who's firing then? Trident, Richelieu. Yeah, they did kind of catch us off guard. What are you doing? You're screening. What? They are outgunning us, as it appears. And now we did pick gunnery prudence, and so yeah, let's just try to go towards like here, turn in. I realize we're not being in a good position now, and a good reason for that, or a big part of the reason for that, is because I screwed up with this battleship division over there. But yeah, we just have to make the most of it. So get these guys to so that they can use all of their guns. Go at least then. What's going on with the Ohio? What's going on with the Ohio? Oh no, okay, it's just a graphic glitch. Okay, so it can use the main battery over there, so that's good. New York is also using its main guns. Illinois and North Dakota, these guys are coming in, but slightly behind everyone else. And we are firing at the first class. At the first ship in the battle line over there, so soon I do hope that we will be ready. And you know, since we are in battle already, you guys will in fact try to get back to where we started off from. Yeah, I realize it's not gonna be. More ships landing close, more shells landing close to us, but also now our secondary battery seems to be firing. I can confirm that. So yes, but on destroyers. Oh well. I mean, if we score hits on destroyers, that's okay, I guess. The class is hit, good hit there, with a 12-inch gun there as well. So yeah, good to see. Also, the Illinois should really start to turn in. Can't come back now. There we go. No more hits for now. But as we know, hit chances are really seriously bad. How about the Illinois? It's not firing yet. Should be soon though. The cruisers are coming back in. I do think we want to turn a bit south so that we can just make sure that we are using our broadsides properly. So we're getting about there now, so let's change slightly. And there's a rain shower, so we might as well lose them soon. Certainly the gunnery is gonna cross it with a 10-inch gun. We'll have to see. New York gun turrets jammed. Not good. Which one is it? One behind. Is it Illinois? Illinois seems to be firing now, so that's good. North Dakota as well. Even Delaware is firing, so it's good to see. Rochester, though, I don't think is. Excellent. I do think we want to stay more or less at this range, so I'm going to turn away even further and just make sure that we're turning in though, so we are going due south now. Yes. On them, not on us, which is good. Illinois, North Dakota, how are you doing? Yeah, all of your guns are now working. Yeah, even the off turret of Delaware is firing. Rochester and Brooklyn still no engagement though. So yeah, well. How far are you guys going? 20 knots. We are going 16. That's okay. I don't want to go too fast because I want to give it a chance to catch up. Ohio being hit on the superstructure, on the belt, extended belt. Not penetrating though, so that's good. Hits on the Trident, just 6-inch, but a 12-inch hit as well. So that's on you, right? Can we see any damage so far? No, all of the secondaries seem to be working. Main gun turrets are working. Richelieu took some hits to the aft turret. That's nice and good to see. All of this, I think, is still in order. Secondary guns here are not engaging. Interesting to see. What the hell are you? 4 12-inch guns in a 4 single turret configuration? It's weird, man. A huge armor bar. Not so much on the turrets though. Really weird configuration. I mean, it does minimize. I mean, you know, this guy has lost half his firepower, and that won't happen to one of these easily just by losing 1 turret. But still, that means they only can train 3 guns on us, whereas we can train 4 on them, and that's just main guns, you know, in addition to secondary guns. Anyway, they are turning in even further, so we're going to mimic that. No, in fact we're not. If they turn in more towards us, then we are more or less crossing their T, right? So Freedom class hit. I think the first one here is really taking some New York hit. in the engine room. Not good. Richelieu just missed 6 inch. Illinois near miss. Treaty class hit with a 10 inch. They are getting uncomfortably close. So in fact we have to move them on a bit like that. You guys cannot shoot, yes, and you are. Illinois. Some turrets jammed. Main turret. Not good. Their turret is still out of action. It's not been blown up though, so we have to see. North Dakota suffering hit on the secondary battery, which might actually disable. North Dakota has also suffered some damages. Was going not disabled. I don't think that's permanently disabled. It is disabled for now. So you know, there goes that for me making fun out of their secondary battery on the Illinois. Yeah, starting to turn south again, so that is something that we do as well. Many shots being traded between, I think, everyone in the line, so. But secondary battery is Rochester spots an unknown ship. It's probably just piece. Not good. Trident class hit, Richelieu hit, that's good, but the Delaware suffered a hit on the turret and I think on the turret top. Yeah, TT turret top. So yeah, the turret is disabled. That's not good. Delaware suffered a critical hit over here. You just put 2 hits and they were kind of critical. You are still okay in your speed though. Electrical power disabled. Oh man, oh man. Delaware being hit further. Magenta class hit though. Ohio Hill and TE, that's deck extended, penetrating. Just with a 6 inch there. Rochester and Brooklyn are under fire, and I appreciate that because that means, what's this guy doing? Why is he breaking out of formation? Interesting. He's taken a light touch. I think he might have dropped out of formation with just speed. Interesting, interesting. This student is either also going out of formation or if everyone is going to follow then I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, it seems to be. It does mean we are concentrating fire. It's interesting, we should probably adjust it just slightly. Where's everyone, by the way? 2 battleships here, 2 battleships there. Did we lose someone? No, the Delaware. We have some structure damage. We did 3 medium hits. Including a critical one. Power restarted. So, not really. Just 2 seconds. Basically a flicker. But, you are still running somewhat slower, right? 70 knots. 16 knots airspeed. Let's go down to 15 so we get a chance for them to catch up. disabled due to a hit on the T. It's just the turret, so that's a straight on hit. Well, we are pretty close to each other. They do suffer some problems as well, though. I can see at least 3 turrets disabled. And they are having problems keeping their line as well. Not sure what Illinois is doing there. Why are you doing that? Good, it's not doing it. Rochester. Where's the Delaware? Come on. Curious turn. If the entire line is turning, then we probably want to move in. I think they're trying to break off. Let's move in. Nice speed. Yeah. Look at that. We are on light range. Still, the visibility range has decreased by so far that can't see them now. We'll take this chance for everyone to catch up somewhat. Delaware is coming back into line. A lot of light cruisers buzzing around, which I don't appreciate that much. Illinois and North Dakota now falling into formation. And there we are again. We can see them. And it's good that we kept course, because now they are in disarray. In fact, we are striking them pretty hard. And we do want to move in a bit towards them so that we can keep the fire up on them. And North Dakota is nearly back in position. We can in fact go a bit like that, so we are in fact losing contact. Nice, more safe. They are seeming to break off pretty badly, right? 10 knots over there. Light damage. More hits on them. Everyone here seems to be they really are in what we should do. They're not being exposing themselves individually to our fire. Some of them breaking off, rejoining, breaking off, rejoining. The only good thing is, no, I don't think they are even doing that. Yeah, I was just about to say that they are making the other side of their secondary gun, so they can conserve a bit of ammo, but that's not in fact the case. So here we are. It's gonna get twilight very soon. In fact, some of them are already in twilight. Contact there, and I do think we have taken the better of them so far. So we're going to try and that means that now they are in a bit of a Ohio hull hit, so they are firing on us now. You know, just as I say we are, they are getting in a better position. Maybe go to Brest. We only need to score a couple of hits on their machinery on one ship, and that one ship will fall behind. So I I do hope that that is what we can achieve maybe before night comes and the visibility range will be so low that it will be madness to engage. Yeah, now we are just in chasing battle, which is not what I like to see, because we are not. But look at that! I think this guy and that is nightfall. What's going on now? Is that a torpedo attack? Let's turn a bit. Also, we lost contact with the second squadron over there. I knew it was a torpedo attack. Unfortunately, that didn't save me from being hit. What did save me though is that it was a dud. So yeah, nighttime. Yeah, not great. Especially when you are just a couple of 100 meters from destroyers. There's not that much that we can do. We can tell these guys to speed up a bit and get basically into basic maneuvers. Oh well, that's just that we don't get hit again. And then maybe we can deal some damage to them. Lost you, bloody hell. Yeah, so 10-inch guns hit on this guy or that guy. Heavy damage, so he'll be done. But nevertheless, they are in a coordinated attack against us. We lost sight of our guys. They lost sight of us. It would have been brilliant to sink a French ship, especially since they will be able to repair whereas we won't, because we are trying to keep up with blockade. But being as it is, there's no point, at night. See, all of our ships here are trying to coordinate, trying to run back, not being in a very good shape, being AI controlled as is. So this is not a fight that we want to fight. We will return. Which is nice, I guess. More hits on them. Maybe we can come around like that. Hit by torpedoes, and they are doing massive damage by now. Flooding is extreme over here, so yeah, time to go home. Let's go to cruise speed so we're not losing the New York, but let's get out of here. Torpedo. Have you seen the this guy seems to be done. There we go back. Just no. We're not gonna risk a couple of our battleships. Just to finish off a light destroyer basically. No. Okay. Going to 5-minute intervals here. The other battleships are coming back online. But yeah, I don't think it's New York is falling behind as is, so let's go to 13 knots over here. I think that's probably the most you can do. How fast are you actually going? No, speed 13, so let's do 12 so it can catch up. Alright, well that was indecisive, although I think our gunnery overall was better, and especially when they lost contact the first time we reacted better. But the second time maybe it was a bit too risky to get into a knife fight with our battleships. Yeah, let's speed things up. We can actually go towards that direction. I don't think we'll run into the enemy like that. Actually pause and can it tell you anything at all? So yeah, we'll be running towards that direction. See that maybe at daybreak, although that is very far away, it's only midnight now I guess, so yeah. Not half remaining. Okay, that's just the weather getting better. But daylight is still quite a way off. And our visibility range is not so great. Nonetheless, let's go towards that direction. Because in fact it might get taken soon. And maybe we can respot them. Nope, in fact we don't. Here we go. We did destroy 2 destroyers and do heavy damage to one. We only ever did light damage to their battleships, and one of our battleships here is heavily damaged, which is of course the torpedo hit. Nevertheless, with them losing some ships and others not, we are doing some good things here. Let's see our ability to hit, actually on rounds fired. So the most important ships have been the New York and the Ohio. Heavy damage on the New York. Both score 5 hits out of about 200 shells. Yeah, brilliant. The French though seem to be doing even worse, especially the Trident over here. A couple of the French ships really haven't scored any hits. Well, at least on the other hand, the Arizona, no, I think the Arizona was the one that was a bit further away. 105 shots fired, 1 hit, 1 on the Delaware. Yeah, gunnery was also awful in the days. Anyway, we do score some points, so does the enemy. Overall, that does still put us in front. Also because we are getting some victory points for the blockade. But if we look at our forces in Northern Europe, and the New York over here definitely will need to move towards the East Coast for rather expensive repairs. And the Arizona and Brooklyn also have some sort of maintenance trouble. So again, go to the East Coast. On the East Coast, on the other hand, we just broke down. Okay, I don't really care. On the East Coast, on the other hand, we have the San Diego. There's no important stations. And Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, yeah, got back and repaired itself. So we are going to move that back to Europe and hope that that will not drain our forces too far. Montana and Southeast Asia. We want to keep our presence over here, or maybe come towards Northern Europe to help out. Some haven't decided about either, but I think that we want to keep up the pressure. I think that's still going to be a good idea. All of these ships are about a year away, so not much happening there. We might in fact start a new construction of a new ship, although probably once this war's over, our funding again will be cut pretty badly, so we'll have to see about that. But this episode has gone way over time, but I did want to finish that unfortunately rather unconclusive. Why are you not moving? I'm sure you're totally to move. Can you maybe not move because you're bone? You'll probably be interned, scuttled, or worse. Not good. Not good. Okay. Yeah, so pretty bad turn. Entirely my fault. I can see that, but nevertheless, unfortunate. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.